Welcome to the first lesson of the Watcher course, the introductory course from ChildShield. Let's begin. We're going to talk about the internet. This is a foundation course, right? It's pretty quick. And a lot of the concepts we're going to see here you probably already know, but they are part of the cornerstone information and knowledge that will be needed from here on. So to make sure everybody's on the same page, we're going to go over some basic concepts. What's on the agenda? What's the internet? What are websites and apps? What are devices? And why does it all matter? The internet. The internet was invented in the early 60s, and for almost 30 years it was used exclusively for scientific and academic research. And then in the early 90s it became available to the general population. Because connection speeds were so slow in the beginning, the use was very limited. So it was mainly used as a library and a postal service, a very rudimentary postal service. As time passed and connectivity evolved, we got through faster cables, and then the telecommunications companies invented 3G, 4G, and 5G data transfers, right, which are these huge wireless networks. And the more Gs, the faster they are. And also Wi-Fi was invented and became pervasive to pretty much every homework, office, and business in the planet. This is all a consequence of increased connection speeds. And increased connection speeds allow us to use more content, different types of content. And so as we can use different types of content, like in the beginning, sending an image over an email would take forever to download. Now we can send videos, watch videos almost in real time, right? What are websites and apps? Websites were the very first media use of the internet, right? And they are similar to the pages of a book or of a magazine. We call them digital pages, right? And you navigate through them, which means you access them and you scroll through their content, right? In the beginning, they were almost not interactive at all. All you could do was scroll through their content. As connectivity increased, the interactivity of websites also increased. To access a website, you need a browser, right? What we call a web browser. And there are many different web browsers nowadays, different browsers for mobile phones and laptops and tablets. And when you access a website, what you're accessing actually is a domain, right? So a page address, what you type in your browser to open, is what we refer to as a domain. And examples of domains are google.com, gmail.com, amazon.com, wikipedia.org. These are all domains, and you can only access them through a web browser. Apps, on the other hand, are different from pages in that the apps themselves are what we also know as programs, right? So the browser that we use to navigate an infinite amount of web pages is one program. An app, each single app is a different program in and by itself. Apps we run and execute, right? A browser we open and start navigating. And you can install apps on your Windows, on your Mac, on your iPhone, on your Android, on your iPad, on your TV, okay? You don't need a browser to use an app because a browser is a program, an app is a program. So you don't have to download and install every single website that you visit, but you have to download and install every single app that you need to use. And another difference is that apps may or may not connect to the internet. So some apps you can download and install and run them regardless of being online or not, right? Now let's talk about devices, what our children refer to as digital toys. And we're going to look at devices here from the point of view of a child, okay? So the first device we're going to look at here is the smartphone, okay? So what uses and capabilities does a smartphone have? It can be used for communications, for apps, for games, and for content consumption. When you talk about tablets, we're talking about it mostly used for educational games, drawing, and video watching. Computers and notebooks are mostly used for schoolwork, advanced gaming, and content creation. Video game consoles are used for gaming, local gaming, which is the use of an app that you download and install on the console, and then you can play with regardless of being connected or not. Online gaming, which needs a connection. And online gaming usually has in-game interactions and chat with other players. And smart TVs, which are used exclusively for content consumption. And now we have wearables, right? As connectivity evolves and connection speeds also increase, wearables came about between 5 and 10 years ago. We started seeing the first smartwatches, the first intelligent glasses, right? And they are used exclusively to use apps or for connectivity with other systems, other apps. Why is this important? Because different devices bring different capabilities, and different capabilities bring different risks to our children. An example is that a smartphone with all those capabilities and communication offers social interaction that a smart TV does not offer. So there isn't a risk for cyberbullying to happen over a smart TV. And when the internet emerged in its general use, there was this sentence that somebody said, I don't remember the author, I couldn't find him online, but somebody said, the best thing about the internet is that everyone will be able to talk to everyone, right? This huge global network. But the worst thing about the internet is that everyone will be able to talk to everyone. So this wraps it up for our first lesson. It's a short one, introductory, right? What we saw here, how internet and connectivity matter, right? The difference between websites and apps. And websites, you can use any amount of websites using only one app, which is the browser, right? While apps have very specific use, and you need to install every single app to use it. And we understand devices and their capabilities and how they bring different risks associated with them. That's it for today. I hope to see you in the next lesson. If you haven't joined our community, please do so. There's a link in the description for our YouTube channel. There's a link in the video description. And you can see our content first and have previews of them in our community, right? Bye-bye, and I'll see you in the next class.